everybody, this is Urban Influencer Radio. I am Savannah, and thank you all for tuning in. Today I will be talking with Grammy nominated Raheem DeVaughn and actor, poet, and singer-songwriter Wes Felton. Together they are the CrossRhodes. Also joining us is the lead vocalist of Arise Roots, Raheem Israel. Before we get started, I just wanted to say thank you to both the firefighters and volunteers of Northern and Southern California, doing all they can to help out Sonoma County. My heart is so heavy for the loss of loved ones, homes, as well as the community. We send our deepest condolences here at Urban Influencer Radio. Now please enjoy a track by up-and-coming alternative artist Leonard Herron. This is Scream.
Shut your mouth, I make mistakes sometimes. You act like this happens all the time. No one's perfect and you know it's true. And I'm trying my best like I promised to. Yeah, you scream, I notice every time it don't go well. And you scream, I see it, my story ain't gonna sell. Then you scream as I'm staring into your beady ass from hell. I wish you were someone else. Your eyes are glued to the TV screen as you sit on the couch, your nightly routine. When you get bored, you scream my name. That may not be the case, but it really seems that way. And you say, what's the matter with you today? I wish I could say screw you lady, but I've already paid the rent. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, you scream, I notice every time it don't go well. And you scream, I see it, my story ain't gonna sell. Then you scream as I'm staring into your beady ass from hell. I wish you were someone else. And one day all the screaming will end. I'll find a place to live and start moving in again. But before I disappear, there's something I'm saying, and you're not gonna like it, I'm afraid. And don't scream, I hate you, you stupid worthless lie. I'll scream and deliver all that I've been holding back. Oh, I'll scream and just maybe I'll destroy a couple lamps, 'cause I really think you deserve all that.
That was Scream by Leonard Herron. My first interview for today's show is with Raheem Israel of reggae band Arise Roots.
All right, how you guys doing today?
All right, yeah.
I'm good. How are you, Kareem?
All is well, all is well.
Oh, yeah? So are you in LA right now?
Yeah, we're in LA right now. So where you guys based?
We're in LA as well.
Oh, you're in LA? Okay, got you. Yeah, I'm right here. I teach also, and so I'm at work right now at the school.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So
Sweet, that's
I got
awesome.
that going on as well.
I want to hear a little bit about that. So, are you like elementary school, high school?
Middle school. So I work with 5th and 6th grade special ed.
Okay.
So we everything from just learning disabilities to autism to anyone who's on the mild to moderate part of the spectrum. So that's what I do. Yeah.
That's awesome. Middle school is like the prime age.
Middle school is no joke.
Oh, yeah.
It is no joke. No joke.
So how is balancing, teaching and then also working on music and being an artist?
I feel like teaching is one of the professions that works well with it. especially as far as the timing goes. You know, I never have to worry about working on weekends or working holidays, and you know, we get big breaks like summer breaks, spring break, stuff like that. So it really lends itself well to being able to travel and tour, whether it's a small run here or there, or you know, longer 1 month, 2 month tours. So it definitely works. It definitely works. Yeah.
So how did your group come about, the Arise group?
So basically, we a lot of the guys in the band have been playing with with reggae bands throughout LA over the years. A lot of them have actually been used as like session players and backup bands for a lot of the different legends coming through LA from Jamaica. And so how we all kind of got together, like a few of us kind of knew each other from the LA music scene as a whole. And once our drummer at the time, he was looking to try to put a roots band together, and so I kind of handpicked different ones that he knew that were really into roots reggae, and so we got together to jam one day back in 2010, and literally the rest is history. One day, one rehearsal led to the next, one jam session led to the next, until we decided to go play a show and see how that goes. And from there, like one show led to the next, and it just been going since then.
Wow. So with the group forming in 2010, how long have you been singing?
Since 2010.
Oh, so that's when you started.
Yeah, this was my first band that I've ever been a part of was this band.
Wow.
And
did
so
you ever see yourself being a vocalist before?
No, never. Well, my dad is a reggae artist from Jamaica, and so he immigrated to the States back in the 70s and came out to California to do reggae music, back in the 70s, which is actually how my mom and my dad met. She was doing journalism at the time, and so they were having some type of publication party, whatever the case is, and they got these Jamaicans from Jamaica playing this reggae music to come and play at the event, and that's how my mom and my dad met. And so music, especially reggae, has always been a part of my life. It's the if it wasn't for reggae, I wouldn't even be here. They would have never met. And so even with that, and just like it's the first music that I ever remember hearing growing up, the first music I ever remember falling in love with growing up. This has always been there. It's just that the places that I stayed growing up, there was never places that really had like a live music scene or a reggae music scene. I didn't grow up in any of the cities that had that culture or that aspect in the city. So it wasn't until I moved out to LA until that I found that there was a live reggae music scene out here and a culture out here. And so as I began to go, look and kind of dive deeper into it, that's the exact moment that I found these guys looking for different pieces of the puzzle to put a band together. And I went and, we had a little jam session one day, and literally, like, the same group of guys, that one jam session led to the next. We didn't really even have a goal in mind to do this or to record an album or to go touring or any of that stuff. It just kind of, guys that just loved reggae music, and it just kind of it went from there. And literally every step of the way has been a new experience and a leap of faith, I should say. It's all icing on the cake from this point moving forward. Like we didn't expect any of this that we're seeing right now.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It's real cool. It's real cool seeing how everything is coming together.
Wow. So you said you grew up listening to reggae, and it's such a big part of your life. I mean, of course, it's like what you heard growing up has to be a major influence. But how would you compare the music that you guys are putting out to what the music that your dad was playing and what you grew up listening to?
Right. Well, my dad was a roots reggae artist, and so for me, roots has always been the number one. That was what he used to play in the house. That was what, you know, that was my first love. My first album was Musical Youth back in the day, Pastor Dutchie, you know. So from the beginning, like that was the style of reggae that I was the most accustomed to, and the one that influenced me the most. And then as I got a little bit older, you know, I got into dancehall. But that roots was definitely the foundation for me. So when I found these guys and I saw that their love was roots reggae, and that's what they were into, it just helped to kind of bring us together and kind of form that gel, because we were all, you know, on the same page with, you know, we being roots lovers. And so as we were making the music, like that's the style of music that would come out the most natural was roots reggae. And so even now, like, you know, we play some different things, and we kind of explore different sounds and different styles of reggae and whatnot. But we definitely know that roots, that's our bread and butter, and it definitely comes out in the music. Yeah, so that's yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm sorry, I was gonna say another thing about roots in particular is that it's definitely music about struggle and overcoming challenges and obstacles in your life and whatnot. And so I know that's something that every person can relate to, is that, whether it's directly related to it or, you know, in some type of way that, you know, related. My mom is a missionary, so growing up I was also able to go around the world to a lot of different countries and really do a lot of humanitarian work. Whether it was feeding kids in slums of Indonesia or helping them to rebuild roofs in Haiti after the earthquake and just all kind of stuff. And so for me, like that kind of having that piece coming from my mom mixed with the music coming from my dad, like I feel like that definitely kind of formed my identity and what I do with music and what I like in music and what I like to produce in music, and what comes out of me the most natural in music is that human aspect and that human factor, and just the strength of the human will to overcome whatever we're facing. So to me, that's roots reggae wrapped up in a nutshell. So it's that's us.
Yeah.
That's us. Yeah.
With you know, reggae, it's become so much more complex over the
Mm-hmm.
years, and so I just wanted to hear your thoughts on a different, like the different twist of modern reggae. You're hearing from like the
Right.
bands, more of like the surf reggae. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah. You know,
But
a lot of people. I get that question a lot, and a lot of people, you know, I guess they suspect that because I'm such a roots lover that I would not be really into the surf reggae and the rock reggae and whatnot. But for me, I'm a music lover first, so I love all music. I'm such a music lover. You know, everything from MC Hammer to Fleetwood Mac. You know what I mean? So when I hear these different twists on reggae that might not be as based in culture or what some people would say, you know, traditional reggae, whatever the case is, I never down it. Like my thing is if it's anything related to reggae at all, I'm all for it. And if that piece of that twist on reggae, whether it's surf or rock or whatever the case is, if that kind of if that gets somebody introduced into reggae like that, I'm sure my guess or my hope would be is that they will continue to kind of dig and search and whatever, so that they might kind of go, you know, dive a little bit deeper to reach a roots sooner or later. So it only makes the ground fertile for reggae lovers as a whole, no matter what type of reggae you listen to or what type of reggae you like. So I think it all helps. It only helps. After how the saying goes, like as when the tide comes in, all the ships rise. So no matter what style of reggae you do, I feel like as long as you're doing something that's helping to advance and to promote the reggae community musically, I'm 100% for it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, you know, with you guys being a group of 6, when it comes to writing, like how does that work?
The writing process, we love to jam. we do a lot of just jamming in rehearsals, and most of our songs come out of a jam session. I'm not the type of writer who just has a book full of lyrics and like pre-done songs or whatever. Like I definitely like to go off the feel and the vibe of what was being produced musically, and then once that vibe is there, then I feel like that to me dictates what the song is going to be. It dictates what the song is going to say because of the vibe of the music and the energy of the music and whatever that that frequency that we're all on right there in that moment. I feel like that is what's going to determine the direction of the song. So 90% of the time that's how we do all of our writing is we'll jam on something. Somebody might bring a certain chord or a certain chord arrangement to the table, or somebody might bring a bass line to the table or whatever the case is. But we pretty much all like do it right then and there, and add the little parts and pieces there to the point where we'll come up with at least a shell of what we want to do, and then from there we'll sit on it a couple of days or a couple of weeks, and we'll kind of come back to it every once in a while and see whether it passes the time test on just amongst ourselves first. Sometimes we'll come up with a song in rehearsal, whatever. We'll think it's cool for that right then and there, but a month goes by and we're like, nah, that one is okay, but it's not it's not that great. So we'll just we would do that same process over and over and over again, over and over and over. We're always jamming. We always like to keep and capture that energy that's right then and there at that particular time, that particular day, whatever people are, whatever the band, whatever each individual person is feeling at that particular time, what they bring to the table right then and there is what we like to capture. So that's usually how we do it.
Sweet. It sounds like you guys, work really well together as a group, and that's obviously so important. What are you guys doing now? Like, are you touring, or do you think you'll be touring anytime soon?
We just had a tour in August.
Okay.
And so right now we're focusing on recording a new album, and so we're going. We're actually in the studio next week to start like the first full leg of recording the new album. And it's been 3.5 years since we released the album, so we're definitely due for one. I think that at this point, like we could have released at least maybe 2 albums between the last one and this one. But one thing we've been doing is really kind of pushing ourselves to broaden the horizons and to grow the sound more. Yeah. And so with that, like we're not just taking whatever the like how it was before. It's like we would get we would jam on a song, whatever, we would get it, and it would automatically just be like, okay, well that song now is automatically going to be on the next album. But what we've done working towards this album here is we've been able to be a lot more selective now because it's been such a long time. We have a lot of songs that are kind of laying around the cutting room floor that we now are like, there's certain ones that we know now that they've kind of made it through the gauntlet, our own gauntlet of what's going to make an album or not. And so now we're in a position where we can pick and choose a lot more of what we want to put towards an album. And so that being in that position is different than we've ever been in before. And so I definitely feel like what's going to be produced now after this album is going to be bigger and better and further along than we've ever done in the past. Definitely excited about that. Like we're super stoked about that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So Kareem, we are going to be playing your guys' single Rootsman Town. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the song?
Yeah, so Rootsman Town is really a song about Los Angeles, and this is a Rootsman town, rude boy town. This is a Rasta town. Things going on here in LA. There's a lot of stuff, happening. There's definitely still this city, big hopes and big whatever. But also with that is the underside of what happens in LA as well. And so with all of that being said, no matter what is going on in the city of Los Angeles, we feel that I think LA is definitely a lot of the surf roots and the reggae rock that's out there. With LA in particular, there's a lot of big time legends have come through LA over the years, and especially the Dub Club. So with the Dub Club and with the people that it brings through Los Angeles, it's enough to warrant being considered a rootsman town and being considered probably a roots hub in all of the West Coast. I would say that about San Diego as well as Los Angeles. So, being that we're from Los Angeles, that's what we're, representing. So Los Angeles is definitely a rootsman town. And so that's what the song is about. We were able to, we're blessed, fortunate, lucky, whatever word you like to use, to be able to get Capleton on the song. And he's definitely an artist that we have grown up loving and listened to forever. And he's personally one of my favorite artists. He's me top 3 in reggae forever. He's amazing. So being able to have like that on someone so much, and then to be able to work with him, it was an amazing experience. So that's Rootsman Town.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, Cream, we're really excited that you guys are going to be working on some new stuff, and
yeah, definitely.
We're really excited for you guys, and that's about it. We will be playing Rootsman Town, and I'm sure our listeners are going to love it. So thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Arise, Roots, King of Fire. No. We don't want no corruption round ya. In that zone ya, Rastafari go on that tone ya. Them a fear them positive sound ya. I don't want to tell them something ya. Arise, Roots, stay.
This is a Rootsman town.
Yeah, the man say.
This is a road boy town.
Better know.
This is a rocker song.
Alright then.
This is a Rasta town.
Yeah.
This is a Rootsman town, where the gangsters roam and never hesitating to pack the chrome. In a dispute, you better watch your tone. Enough warriors in a battle zone, where the strong survive. Place where the safety and hustlers thrive. Grind all day just to make a dime. Scraping or scrapping or stay alive. Calling all the just soldiers, ready for masting vultures. Never let the system control ya. This is a Rootsman culture. This is a Rootsman tone. This is a rude boy tone.
And the man say.
This is a rocker song.
Radar, yeah.
This is a Rasta tone.
And the man say.
This is a Rootsman
You have to know
tone.
yourself, enemies necessary. System is a vulture and me say we see that clearly. Round your wheels, you better know to steer it. Youths are on food, look something for Terry. When the officers them come, it get scary. Now that get to youth life, they would have disappeared. Make them know this I tell you no fair. That system you do and cherry. Alright, real soldiers and me I tell you get ready. Rastafari me say already done prepare me. But the less ball them walk, I say them no air. We know them and balance the mood and them the
This
cherry.
is a Rootsman tone. This is a rude boy tone.
Yeah, the man say, aye.
This is a rocker song.
Rocker sound.
This is a Rasta tone. This is a Rootsman tone. So we have to stand tall. Never friend when your back's against the wall. Gunshot another you them fall. And the mamas them a ball. Whoa. Every day we have to try the rocky road. Pan we back we have to carry heavy load. Gunman them on the next payroll. And the police them a patrol. We calling just soldiers, ready for masking vultures. Never let the system control ya. This is a Rootsman culture. This is a Rootsman tone. This is a rude boy tone. This is a rock and song. This is a Rasta tone. This is a roots man tone.
And the culture, it's a fire with a love. You have to face like a lion and humble like a dove. Humility and tolerance by them action, so you judge. Not just no for them are not clean. Yo, the fireman a gun and gun the envy and the grudge. Gonna go ask a lot the warriors and ask a lot the thugs. Don't tell the get to use and make them shoot her with them slug. Now make them wipe you like a rug or pushing on the mud.
Fire,
Yeah, the man say
fire, we have to burn them down. Fire,
red eye.
fire, we have to burn them down.
That was Roots Man by Arise Roots. Now check out the newest single from my boy Chuck Diesel. This is Sleazy.
That shit, they be talking that shit, knowing that they do not wanna get hit. Acting so tough, but be weak as a bitch. Say my new bitch look just like a brick, and my old bitch look just like a model. We going for throttle, we popping them bottles, making her say like she Nelly Furtado. Made my D-Rose, but she not from Chicago. Way that she ride like she whipping the Tahoe, making it hot like we are in the Congo. Meet at my crib, but we go to a condo. Play with that pussy like playing the banjo. Wearing my chain, she watching the Django, shooting the shit like my name was Django. Fresh from the jungle, I should wear a muzzle. Respect on my hustle, hard work and muscle. Fucking your bitch, like flicking my wrist. Easy, I'm fresh as a bitch. I woke up like Wiz with a joint in my fist. Easy, these niggas out here, they be talking that shit. Yeah, they talking that shit. Easy, I'm killing shit for no reason. I'm the best, baby, believe me. Ayy, fucking your bitch, like flicking my wrist. Pull up and whip it, she hopping right in. Swag is on 10 and she better than sin. Sex is so good, make it tell all her friends. Smoking, we sleeping, go at it again. Always on point like I was an ink pen. Calling them gym cause their chances is slim. Burning it up, then I'm gone in the wind. I be booming and zooming. Bitches out here, know they be choosing. Smoking on L, but don't do no losing. Switching the lanes, gotta stay cruising, but keep in control. I blow by the O, stay in my zone. Bitch nigga leave me alone. Fucking your bitch, like flicking my wrist. Easy, I'm fresh as a bitch. I woke up like Wiz with a joint in my fist. Easy, these niggas out here, they be talking that shit. Yeah, they talking that shit. Easy, I'm killing shit for no reason. I'm the best, baby, believe me. Ayy, fucking your bitch, like flicking my wrist. Easy, I'm fresh as a bitch. I woke up like Wiz with a joint in my fist. Easy, these niggas out here, they be talking that shit. Yeah, they talking that shit. Easy, I'm killing shit for no reason. I'm the best, baby, believe me. Ayy.
That was Sleazy by Chuck Diesel. Make sure to look out for his EP coming this December. Next, our second and final interview is with Raheem DeVaughn and Wes Felton. They are CrossRhodes.
Okay, hello, I'm Savannah with Urban Influencer Radio, and I am talking to Raheem DeVaughn and Wes Felton. How are you guys?
Bless. How you doing?
Great.
All right, great.
We're really grateful for you guys to be on our show and have you guys here chatting with me. It's awesome.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. So, first off, how did CrossRhodes come about?
Man, I think this is Raheem speaking. It came about the best way, in the best way that all things should happen, organically. You know what I mean? Two like-minded individuals from two different walks of life that have a passion for music, they have a passion for the culture, they have a social awareness, a level of social awareness and consciousness, to themselves. And so we met in the DC area. Wes was at the time was one of the curators of an event known as Groove Gumbo. At the time, I was in a rock band, and I wound up being like 30 minutes late. Wes was giving me the blues about where the rest of the band was. But when we got on again, we rocked it. The message was, even then the message was, there was a level of consciousness with the message there. And we just really hit it off after that, man. And it became a thing where wherever Wes was doing the show, I would go and support him, or vice versa, and we would integrate basically like our songs, like, you know what I'm saying, and kind of transfer from there to where we literally, we made an album. We wanted to making 2 albums together prior to the Footprints on the Moon album. Our first album was called Limited Budget, Unlimited Quality. And the second album was called The Invitation. And at the time of The Invitation, I was knee-deep in my deal with Jive Records as a solo artist, so we had to kind of like creatively find a way to put that album out where I wouldn't get sued or dropped from the label at the time. So we came up with these cool little aliases, Cleophas Jones and Cronkite and that whole thing, and still put the music out. So we've always been kind of rebellious in that sense, and as far as, resistors and the resistance movement.
Wait, that's so cool. That's awesome. So, can you guys talk a little bit about Footprints on the Moon?
Yes.
Could you hear that? Sorry.
Yes. Okay. I'll let Wes answer that question.
Yeah, this is Wes.
Okay.
Well, basically, CrossRhodes, it symbolizes just that, the crossroads. More specifically, the crossroads, not that we all come to daily or yearly or whatever points we encounter them in our lives, but very specifically black men. Often in this industry, when it comes to brothers, they don't really display us in diversity. They don't show that we can, laugh and cry and, feel, and, we're creative and we're smart and, all of those things. Usually they box us in to one extreme or the other. And for us at CrossRhodes, we first wanted to make it clear that we're two brothers that are talented and, very focused as individuals, but rather than choosing the normal approach of, being adversaries or, competing, we decided to join forces to show and remind people, what happens when you join forces. But then also we pay homage to our ancestors who started off with a lot of that, soul music that, had content in it, like the Marvin Gayes and the Donny Hathaways and the Roberta Flacks, early Aretha Franklin things, Ray Charles. The Rhodes piano was a very prominent backdrop embed for all of that music. So we pay homage by spelling the Rhodes in our name with, paying homage to our ancestors that were before us. But then also, we also do it in the tradition of the Rhodes scholars, kind of to establish that we are, above a certain level. We are attempting to, as we would say, denigmatize people. We're trying to, and as the old slogan says, we're trying to educate to elevate. So what we're doing is edutainment. If you listen to our record, Footprints on the Moon, it's pretty much instruction. It's like a manual. It's basically a way of, telling people how to live, how to think, and how to, live woke versus staying woke. Because we all need rest, so we can't stay awake all the time. We need our rest for our mental safety and health. But when we can live woke, we're able to see, all of the traps and gimmicks that, have been around forever. and that we know how they play out. So if we just have the mental strength and pride to not fall for them, we'll be all good.
So, you know, in our political climate right now, your music, like, it holds, you know, such a strong presence, and I think that's so important, and, you know, we totally respect you guys for what you're doing. But what drove you to that sort of focus?
You know, we always been on that. Like, if you do the research on me or you do research on Wes and go through his vast catalog of independent music, he's put out over 20 projects out. Like, we working, like, you know, we talk about as far back as, like, when, you know, Wes has been making music since a teenager, you know what I mean, early years of college. So even before myself, like, he had projects out. So we're kind of, like, preparing to do, like, an anthology, kind of just, like, reintroduce him to, you know, like, with the platform being what it is right now, you know, it's always the goal when you come out as an artist to gain new fans and new notoriety. But we've been doing this for such a long time. Like, even my first album, The Love Experience, is, you know, as attractive as it was, you know, and the women were drawn naturally, and the men too were drawn to the songs that, you know, were relationship based, you know, to ask self the questions or believe. Half of that album was socially conscious. You know what I'm saying? Catch-22, socially conscious. You know, Who, socially conscious. Even the record Until, you know, it was talking about, you know, just life. You know what I'm saying? In general, like, you know, Green Leaves, socially conscious. Like, my first album was half of, like, what the Footprints on the Moon represents. You know what I mean? My 2010 release, The Love and War Masterpiece, which featured Dr. Cornel West, you know, with songs like Bulletproof or Revelations 2010 featuring Damian Marley. Like, the message has always been there, you know. But for this album and for what we do, what we just released, it's probably the most important album of the year as far as, like, the social climate and being socially aware. You know what I mean? Like, globally, but also for us as black men and being, you know, beacons of light and servicing music to our people. It's probably one of the most important albums that black folks should have right now, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Because, you know, for us, man, it's a level of self-hatred that we deal with, that we have to acknowledge, and that we've been taught. You know what I mean? And indoctrinated into. So it's you know, it's a means as to wake up, like, our people. You know what I'm saying? Like, wake up our people as well as saying, like, hey world, hey France, this is what we're dealing with here in the US. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's really, again, to, like, wake people up, you know, and as a reminder for ourselves. Like, my music is it's a reminder for me. It kind of keeps me in a place of being grounded or being aware and being in tune to what's happening. You know what I mean? Everything can't just be about the entertainment or, you know, the female that want to throw her panties on stage. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? But, like, you know, for me, I've always known, like, the women that, you know, I'm attracted to in my life or they're attracted to me, they can appreciate the level of consciousness that you know, I have, you know, and that's important. Like, it's really showing balance, you know, for us as men, you know?
Definitely. Well, I mean, yeah, just like you said, you guys, you're artists, you're free to write about and talk about, sing about whatever you guys want. And you're utilizing your social platform, and that's so huge, especially today. It's so important. I want to know, so, like you guys said, some of your previous work, it does have the same messages, the same references to what Footprints on the Moon does, but how can you compare your single work to this album specifically?
I feel like that's a two-answer question, so I'm gonna just briefly answer, and I'm gonna let Wes answer as well. For me, what I want people to know is that when they hear the CrossRhodes brand, you know, it's always been a challenge for me, because, you know, there's a level side to me, and there's a very revolutionary, like, excuse my language, I give no fucks. I'm down for what's right and freedom, justice, and equality side to me too. So it's at times it's been hard to juggle the balance, you know what I mean, or to figure out how to balance that out. So what I said was, like, yo, let me go and get my brother, who I make some of the greatest music with, right, on the planet and shit, when we come together, and we're gonna resurrect this CrossRhodes movement. And guess what? Every 8 to 12 months from now on, moving forward, we're going to put out music. Like, and when you hear the CrossRhodes, this is what you're gonna get. You know what I mean? Just like think of us as reporters, you know, modern day reporters or modern day prophets or modern day storytellers or whatever you want to, you know. And you know, the first one is very raw and uncut, man, because that's just where we at. You know what I'm saying? When you're dealing with racists, you know, in this country and globally, that, you know, basically are waging war or and death on, you know, not just on black folks, but Native Americans or, you know, your alternative lifestyle can be like just everybody, like you know what I'm saying, like
Definitely.
anything that's promoting like hate and injustice, like that's what we up against. So it's not necessarily a white or a black thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a social justice thing. It's a economy thing.
Yeah,
you know
it's a
what I mean?
universal thing, definitely.
Yeah, and I'm gonna let Wes answer as well.
Okay.
Well, what was the second half of the question?
Oh, I was just asking about your individual work.
The individual work.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you know, like you know, Raheem mentioned before, you know, he and I always had an ability to, you know, as separate artists, whether we knew or did know, you know, in a sense, write with the same sensibilities and about the same subject matter. So early in our careers, that's how we were able to literally have a song that neither one of us ever heard individually, but we have a song that's similar in terms of the subject matter, so it make it easy for us to, you know, connect the two. So this process was really, you know, it was an easy process in the sense of recording and creating the music. Now, the difficulty is, you know, when you're trying to market and promote and push accessible, good quality stuff to people, but you run into a lot of obstacles. You know, it's not like we're Whole Foods or we're like a company that's trying to overprice what we do or overprice our art. But it's like anything that's good for you, like vegetables. People don't like to eat their vegetables. So you got to find creative ways to try to get them their vegetables. And so we're just trying to bring the balance. And also, you know, I think that there's a higher being and there's something greater than us that's, you know, that has taken over this project for us. You know, for a while we weren't sure if it was going to come out. For a while we weren't sure who was going to be the president. We weren't sure if the president-elect was going to affect even more the possibilities of it coming out. And despite all of those things, there's still something greater in power, you know, turmoil amongst, you know, management, you know, all these things that are part of the natural process that could totally cripple the normal individual or even some of your greatest individuals. But because there's a greater purpose behind this. This process has been, you know, it's great to see it unfold, you know, right before our eyes.
Yeah, for sure. So we are going to be playing your guys' track, America. So could you tell our listeners a little bit about it?
Man, again, not to blow on whistle, I just feel like it's just a powerful record. It's probably one of the most powerful records to come out representing this country, or, you know, for black artists this year, maybe for the decade, you know what I mean? Because, like, you know, nothing's promised. We just don't know the climate of what's going to happen day to day here or globally, you know. So it definitely wasn't done in a disrespectful manner or a tasteless manner. But, you know, if we're going to talk about America, we got to talk about, you know, we want to talk about the good things, you know, we got to talk about the not so good things, and we just got to just acknowledge where we are, you know what I mean? And for all the strides and wonderful things we've been able to accomplish, you know, even ourselves as artists, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I want Wes to speak on this a little bit when I'm finished. But, you know, we've accomplished a lot, and it appears that we've accomplished a lot. But when you see, like, for example, the stuff that's happening, you know, in UVA with with these meetings that are happening in UVA in the middle of the night in Virginia, West Virginia, or Charleston, South Carolina, or the comments that are made, by the Dallas by the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, or the countless buffoonery moments that have been happening by our president-elect. Like, it's like you wake up some days and I'm like, yo, it feels like we haven't made any leeway. You know what I mean? Or like, are we back in the 60s? You know what I'm saying? And these modern days and times, and I'll let Wes speak on that as well.
Well, yeah. So but America, again, I tell people all the time, I'm old enough to remember when you used to hear the lift every voice and sing all the time. You would hear it in schools, you would hear it at Black History Month, you would hear it, just regular things, and we no longer have that, and we've gone from having messages like that consistently in our community to now gone to whatever is the most popular, hit or cookie cutter artists in the moment who are influencing our children. They're even now at the point where they're influencing the adults in our community. So we have to, as Americans, we have to be either part of the problem or part of the solution. And the most dangerous members of our country right now, and the most dangerous citizens in our community, are not necessarily those guys down there in the khakis with the tiki torches in Virginia, or the brothers and sisters that are holding up the Black Lives Matter sign and out there in the street. It's actually the people who know better and who are being silent. They are the most dangerous citizens in our society, because we say silence is violence. So if you are someone who knows better, if you are that good police officer who constantly turns an eye to the bad police officer or never stands up for injustice in that community, you are part of the problem. If you're a mother or father who, complains about, how they have a promiscuous son or daughter, or a son or daughter who's in the streets, but yet everything you feed them or you validate them with is materialistic, or it's music that's glorifying materialism or violence, you're part of the problem. So it's time for us to have accountability as Americans. That's not just a black thing. It's not just a white thing. It's definitely it's a American thing. It's a American citizen thing. So America is the first single. I'm glad that you guys are able to share it and premiere it on your station and your network. And I just encourage everybody listening to this to play a part and be part of this movement. You guys can follow us on social media at CrossRhodes 368. That's CrossRhodes 368. Raheem DeVaughn is Raheem_DeVaughn. You can find me as Wes Felton DC. That's on IG and Twitter. Just type that in and you'll find me. And follow us, Spotify, Tidal, all those things. If you don't buy if you're not able to purchase the record, you can stream it, because that does help draw additional attention and traffic to what we do. And just tell all your friends to follow what we're doing. If they claim to be woke, or if they claim to want to figure out a way how they can contribute to the Black Lives Matter movement or to the resistance movement, like, now is the time where we got to now elevate the artists that are going to be the voices for the people. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're trying to be. And, thank you for having us as your guest.
Sure. No, thank you guys so much. We love what you're doing. We're really excited to put out America. And, again, we're really thankful that you guys were here and I'm able to chat with you.
Great.
Give thanks. We'd love to come maybe do I don't know where y'all based at, but at some point maybe we just like an acoustic performance or something for you guys.
Yeah, we'll definitely. I'll follow up with an email and we'll work it out.
One love. Thank you so much for your platform.
You too. Thank you guys.
All right. Peace.
Love life.
All right, bye.
protest lines. America, America. Violent lights and police lights. America, America. Body bags is filled with you. America. With no remorse, they bang shoes, they bang bang. The global warming to kill our air. America, America. Not guilty verdicts, don't the jury care. America, America. Religious wars and social woes. America, America. They'll sell you dreams to buy your soul. Oh, America, yeah. America, America. Oh, sensitive for me. America, trap your house, sell your bricks. America, America. Today indict you, it's the homie snitch. America, America. Some go down and come home next summer. America. But now this courts is giving football numbers. We say we wanna be equal or kill our people. America, America. We say they lost their way, but we failed our children. America, America. But a change is coming, here's the proof. America, America. We can lean out to self, here's the truth. For new America, President
I thank God I never wanted to be a clone. I idolize Al Capone, or rock a herringbone, or disrespect my mom in and out of her home. Never been a nigga ashamed of where I was from. You gotta go out and get it. Now wait for it to come. Never been addicted to that coke or that rum. Never took a life with a gun or harmed a human for fun. But I got a few gangsters who protect me and my son. You can't get into formation without information. This country's in peril, too many niggas hating. We think being famous is the same as reparations. We think smoking weed is the same as meditation, or others are using it as a form of medication. Incarceration is the new black vacation. I'm trying to practice this hope with a whole lot of patience. I wanna feel American pride with lots of cadence. We the only people on the planet taught to hate our culture, while others exploit, eat off of it like vultures. Stress from the inside like ulcers. Racist government stretch from DC to Tulsa. Ain't you tired of the bull and the lies? Ain't you tired of the murders and the cries? Meanwhile, chemtrailing in the sky, but y'all don't wanna hear that on your music or your rhymes. How you gon' matter if you think that you better? And cause you got some money that your water's more wetter. Ha, 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 jokes on you while you an actor. You got less influence on your kids than the average rapper. Got the nerve to walk around with your chest poked out, while your daughter's getting turned out and son's getting smoked out. Man, let's get these votes out so we can get these racist folks out.
America, for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And that was America by CrossRhodes. Make sure to check out the rest of their new album, Footprints on the Moon. Lastly, we are playing a track by Alex Molly. Is It Love? Enjoy.
I wanna love you. I wanna love you.
that was Is It Love by Alex Molly. Thank you all for tuning in to Urban Influencer Radio. I'm your host, Savannah. On Instagram, they call me Sav2Humble. I hope you guys enjoyed our show. Please make sure to follow us on social media. Links are below. Have a rockin' Friday, people.